Good morning, guys. You're here with your host. I'm Xavier Jenkins. You're here with All Around Athletes, and I'm going to start introducing everybody. You're here with Tyree and Shaq, and you're also here with JD and our special guest Eli today, man. So Eli and JD are going to start off talking about football, and we're just going to do our normal All Around Athletes thing. So let's get into it. JD, Eli, what do y'all got to talk about today, man?
We're gonna talk about games that's upcoming. You know, stats of players, like how they did through like week 1 through week 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt Stafford, he had 46 touchdown passes, 4,700 passing yards. That's pretty good. I don't know if they probably gonna give him MVP. Maybe. Maybe.
In my opinion, I feel like I wouldn't say he's kind of fell off since he left Detroit because he did leave. Because he did leave and go right to a Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna say he fell off, but I could definitely say he's definitely a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. But I wouldn't say he's an MVP.
So he fell off, but yeah, he got 46 total touchdowns, which has only been done, I think, around 10 times. He's leading the Rams. You know, they're in the hardest division. They're in the hardest conference. They got 2 teams with 12 plus wins. You know, I think he deserves the MVP. He's 40 something, if not late 30s, and he's leading the Rams to, what was that, a 12-5 record?
Yeah.
I think that's impressive. You know, Drake May, he's going to be in the league for 15 plus years. His MVP coming, I'll give it to Matthew Stafford personally. You know, he's been playing at a crazy level. I mean, I wouldn't let recency bias fool everybody because he threw 3 picks against the Falcons, you know. Against the NFC, he's been just amazing. I seen the stat, he got 13 touchdowns and 1 interception against the top NFC teams. I think that's crazy, you know. But I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to Drake May because he's been playing outstanding, you know, leading the Patriots to a 14-3 record, throwing for 35 plus touchdowns, 4,000 yards only in his second year with less weapons, less of an O-line, less of a running back, less of receivers, so I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to him. But Matthew Stafford's been playing at an elite level for sure.
Puka Nacua, he been doing good.
Yeah, I think Puka Nacua gonna win Offensive Player next year.
He should.
If you guys bet, I would place that right now.
You trying to bet 20?
Definitely, man. But as we're on the subject, I feel like one of the teams that we definitely have to put a spotlight on and definitely say something about is the Detroit Lions. They went from the number 1 in the league, and the number 1 in the division, winning almost every week, putting up 40 against every team, to now missing the playoffs and barely being a team that we're talking about now. With all the weapons that Detroit has, like Amon St. Brown, Jameer, like with the Jared Goff with their O-line, Sam Laporta, like they genuinely have enough weapons in the league and on their team to be one of the best teams that Detroit has ever seen since Barry Sanders, Matthew Stafford, Megatron. Like they have a team that could definitely go out there and win a chip for Detroit. It's just, I feel like when they get put in the spotlight and when the city is leading on them to bring something back, like even with the 24 season when they were in the last game before the Super Bowl and they were up by like 2 or 3 touchdowns before halftime, and then after halftime everything just crumbled. Jared Goff ended up throwing multiple picks and ended up losing the game. I just feel like Detroit in the regular season and near the mid has a great starting off, has a great upcoming, and then it just starts to fall over the period of the season. Like once they're starting to see that they're gaining momentum, they start to lose it as fast as they gain it, and it feels like if you put them in the spotlight, they're not going to stay there much longer. Do you guys agree with me?
Yeah, you know, the problem with the Lions is we put so much around Jared Goff for him to look perfect that we don't have enough money to spend on other positions. I honestly don't think Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. I mean, since he's been at Detroit, he's had a top 5 line, a top 5 receiver, and he had the best OC in the game, and he couldn't get the job done. The problem with the Lions is we spend so much money to keep superstars around Jared Goff to make him look good, we don't focus on our defense. Yep. So then our defense starts letting up 30 plus a game. I think if we had a quarterback like Caleb Williams, Lamar, somebody that's mobile, anybody that's mobile, I think we would have won at least 1 Super Bowl by now. But since, you know, we spend so much money on our offense to make Jared Goff look as good as he's really not, it holds us back. I think if, you know, we have a mobile quarterback, we can spend money on defensive backs, defensive ends, but we can't. We spend it all on Amon Ra, J-Mo, you know, they all getting 35 plus M's a year, which makes it hard to spend money on defense because, you know, you only get so much money to spend. So then we got to rely on, who's our GM?
Brad Holmes.
Yeah, we got to depend on Brad Holmes to hit a home run every year. When in reality, I think Jared Goff is the problem. I think when we get rid of Jared Goff and get a black quarterback, I wouldn't even say black, but just a
quarterback
just,
that can run.
just a mobile quarterback, I think we can make a run.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong necessarily, because being realistic, as long as Jared Goff's been in Detroit and he's been on the Lions, you haven't really seen him run 20, 25 plus yards to really go anywhere. He really doesn't run. He is so dependent on having the best O-line, having you could say best receiver, best running back core. He's so dependent on the superstars and the core that he has around him. It's like, of course, if you have top 5 running back, top 5 O-line, top 5 wide receiver core, of course you're gonna be able to look good if you could just throw a ball. That's not hard. It's more about what you could do. Like if we definitely had Lamar, I could definitely see us winning this year. If we had Pat, if we had Matthew, I feel like somebody that could just carry the ball if they had to. If he has to run 20, 25 plus yards to get it there, if we had somebody that could do that, I feel like we would definitely win the Super Bowl, win the MVP. And I agree with what you're saying on the defensive side. Like, we do have great defensive pieces, but we don't have a defensive pool. It's like when we get in a tough time and we're lending on our defense, it seems like either so many guys are out because they're hurt on the defensive side, or we just don't have good enough guys to go out there and guard Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. We don't have guys that could go out there and guard DK like as good as other teams. So it feels like really like we only have a few good pieces on our defensive line end, on our middle linebacker end, on our safety end. It feels like we only have 2, 3, maybe 4 pieces out there on the defensive side that are really doing something to contribute to the team. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, the other thing is that the Lions defense has just been derailed by injuries. You know, we lost Brian Branch, we lost Kirby Joseph, we lost Terry Arnold. Aiden Hutchinson really wasn't even supposed to return this year.
Wasn't.
I mean,
it showed like he wasn't playing like he was last year, because like you could tell he was like traumatized.
I wouldn't even say traumatized. You know, that's just an injury that takes a year plus just to kind of feel the same. I think he played pretty good this year. He had 13 and a half sacks. That's impressive coming off a broken leg, a torn MCL, meniscus, all that. I mean, we just gotta, you know, when people think you only have one edge rusher, I mean, he's coming off a torn MCL, broken leg, broken knee, all that. I mean, it's going to be easy to double team him because we have no pass rush, which then leads to our DBs getting burnt.
Yeah.
Nick Robertson let up 881 receiving yards this year, 8 touchdowns. That just can't happen.
DJ Reed, oh my gosh, he got to go.
Definitely, man. I totally agree with what you're saying. The injury, that injury, not gonna lie, it definitely takes way longer than a year to heal. I'm not going to say that he's exactly traumatized. That's just something you have to learn and grow from, but it's definitely more of you could still feel the injury even after it's gone. It still has to you have to give it time to heal. You have to give it time to get back to where you were. And I feel like definitely on the defensive line side, he's really, like, even though he just came off the injury, he did get 13 and a half sacks. He's really the best defensive lineman we have at this point. And if a team knows that they're going against the Lions and the best defensive lineman that they have is Aiden Hutchinson, and he's off an injury, it's going to be easy to just say, run it to his side. We're going to be able to get past him because he's either still traumatized from what happened or not back at fully strength. Because before he got injured, not gonna lie, he was looking like he could be one of the best defensive ends in the league. He was definitely up there with guys like Myles Garrett, like definitely got up there with guys like Max Crosby. He was up there in that tier, but now that he's gotten the injury and kind of slowed down, like he's digressed somewhat. I wouldn't say that he's lost what he's had, but it's more like they're kind of putting him out there before he's ready. Like they're putting him out there because they need him, but he shouldn't exactly be out there. They should have still gave him more time to heal. And I definitely feel like going into this, the up and coming draft picks and draft season, I feel like we should definitely get more keys for defense because we still have 2 years we still have a 2-year contract with everybody that's basically on the offense right now. So we need to really just build around our defense, because if we can get what we need for our defense, we don't have to worry about our offense at this point. Except for a quarterback, which I know they're probably not going to draw for.
Yeah.
There's nobody that
Four-year
Detroit
contract.
really needs. They definitely don't need running backs. They don't need an O-line. They don't need receivers.
No, they need an O-line.
We most definitely need.
They need an
O-line.
O-line,
Our
for sure.
O-line, you know, we don't have enough depth at O-line, but what we need more edge rushers,
Mm-hmm.
and we need cornerbacks. We need interior alignment. We need a lot. But you know, another thing we got on the team is Ali Muhammad, who's also top 10 in sacks. He had 10.5 sacks or 11.5, not too far from Ada Hutchinson. So we're not gonna act like we just don't have no pieces. It's just more so injuries derailing us, and just, you know, our home hitting running back, our defensive backs not turning out to what we thought. You know, we spent the first round pick on Terrion Arnold. He
Yeah.
can't stay on the field. We signed DJ Reed. He's burnt toast. We got a Meek Robinson. He's burnt toast. So we just gotta spend money on defense. It's simple. Everything requires money in football. And if we're not gonna spend it, then we can't expect to see results if we're not putting in no progress into, you know, getting a better team.
And if we do spend money on offense, like we should just get like players that been
Vets.
that's like vets, not no rookies. You know, we already got too many of that. So yeah. Bryce Young, how y'all feel like he gonna do in this Saturday's game?
You know, I wouldn't put much doubt in Bryce Young. You know, he played for Nick Saban, 3 years, 4 years. He was amazing, you know. I don't think he's not immune to these type of situations. He also has Ted McMillan, he reached over 1,000 yards this season as a rookie. He's been just flat out amazing. Also with Rico, I'm not even gonna mess up his last name, but I don't think the lights are gonna be too bright. I think this game is gonna be closer than what people think. And they also have, you know, a top 5 corner in J.C. Horn, Bryce. They started the season not too good, and he ended it amazing. So I think they're gonna be, you know, at that pace, and that momentum to the playoffs. That's something scary, something to watch out for, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come out.
I could see them winning, but they gotta do whatever it takes to even win. Like,
Definitely, man. I'm just gonna say for Bryce, I don't think this is exactly something new to him. I don't feel like this is gonna be too much pressure for him or be something that he can't exactly stand for. I feel like he's been put into situations where he's been under more pressure. So I feel like he really just needs to go out here and just go out there and play like how he plays every other game, and just go out there with the arm set of that he's gonna win. But switching off of football now, we're going to go over here with my main guys, Tyree and Shaq, and we're going to talk about some NBA, man.
So we got the Spurs 107 to 91 Lakers. The team, the stats, we got points. The Lakers had 91, the Spurs had 107. Field goals, Lakers 34 for 86, 39%. The Spurs 48%. 3-point. Spurs 4 for 25. They're shooting not really good. How you feel about their shooting, man?
Yeah, Lakers. I don't know. 4 from 25 from 3. That's too many. That's too many shot attempts for 3s. I'm not gonna lie. And 3 and 9 from 39. That's insane.
Jalen LeBron.
That's 39%.
Jalen LeBron get like 30 points that game. He like get 30
The Lakers.
LeBron didn't even play last game. LeBron or Austin Reeves didn't play the most recent game. You talk about the game before.
Yeah, you talking about
Yeah. The Lakers, they shot 60% from the free throw line. That's not good at all. Assists. Yeah, just scroll down. All right, we got Luka Doncic, 38 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, triple-double. You know, Luka Doncic, he always do this.
That's pretty regular
That's
for
his thing.
Luka.
You know what I'm saying?
3 steals, but 7 turnovers. He can minimize the turnovers a little bit, but it's a part of the game, you know.
Yeah.
Part of developing, you know.
Hey, yeah.
Jake LaRiva with 16 points, 7 rebounds. You know, that's decent playing, you know. DeAndre Ayton,
9 points. He got to do better.
he got to do way better.
9 points.
9.6 rebounds. He got to be more effective.
He's like
man.
7 foot, bro. What is he
Right.
doing?
Jason Hayes, 10 points, 7 rebounds.
Off the bench, though. He's off the
That's
bench.
pretty basic. Spurs,
Keldon Johnson with 27 points. I don't even know who that is. It's crazy.
Victor with 16.
16, 14 rebounds and 4 blocks. Victor, you know, he averaged a block every game, you know.
But I don't think that's good for Victor. 16 points.
Yeah.
You gotta be way more efficient than that.
It was probably an off game or something.
For sure. Harrison Barnes, he led the team with 6 assists. That's pretty decent. Now let's talk about Detroit Pistons game. Chicago Bulls. Pistons had 108. Chicago 93. Isaiah Stewart 31 points, career high. That's really nice. What you think about that?
I feel like Isaiah Stewart, like 31 points is crazy. Like I don't even like expect him to like get 31 points.
I mean, Pistons been doing good this year though.
Isaiah Stewart.
I don't need to cut you guys off, but we were just talking about the Lakers and the Spurs, and not gonna lie, I agree with you that they're shooting from the 3 field. That is terrible. But
Yeah.
we're not gonna act like the Lakers exactly have like the best team or the best players, except for like LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. They don't really have any key pieces out there. If any 3 of them goes out, majority of the list, they're not gonna win that game. And I feel like them trading AD for Luka, I'm not gonna say it was a bad trade for the Lakers part, but knowing how Luka plays and knowing it's not exactly as fast as the Lakers play, and he's not gonna exactly just get the ball and go out there and try to dunk it every time or have a fast place to it. Because we all know Luka's playing style. It's not fast. It's not slow either, but it's not exactly fast. So trading him for AD with the predicament that we're in, I feel like because we all know LeBron doesn't have that much time. He has maybe 2 years max, I'm gonna say.
This might be his last year.
Yeah, this might be his last year for me. And Austin Reeves, he's not exactly a superstar. I am gonna say he's a star, but he's not a superstar, and he's not exactly somebody that you can depend on to just get the ball every play and go out there and score with it. So I feel like we're gonna, like, going into the rest of this season, we're gonna have to really change. They're gonna have to change up their play style and stop trying to have to defend on Luka so much to really take the ball and have to win the game. Because I feel like as good as Luka is, he can't carry the whole franchise. He can't carry the franchise by himself. And with the Spurs, it's Wemby. I don't got much to say about it. Wemby he's definitely going to be the next GOAT out there. He's still got time to it. And I feel like the Spurs are just really telling Wemby to go out there and play. There's not much you got to really tell that man to do. He's getting rebounds. He's averaging at least 3 to 4 blocks every game. He's getting over 10 points every game. 16 is low for him, but I feel like he still went out there and definitely did his job. If they still ended up beating the team, I feel like he still ended up going out there and doing his job. And the Spurs actually have a decent team. They're not just dependent on Wemby. They have key pieces that all around they can really pass the ball around. Do you guys agree with me?
Yes, and I also like to say, Wemby actually played great because I'm pretty sure he played under 25 minutes. He's freshly off injury, so he's on minute restriction. Another thing I like about the Spurs is how deep that their guard room is. They got De'Aaron Fox, they got Dylan Harper, they got Stephon Castle. All them guys can be top 10 guards in the league within the next 2 to 3 years. That's a good team. And Luka, the thing is about Luka, when you pay attention to the Mavericks and the way they made the NBA Finals, their starting lineup consisted of Luka, what was it, Kyrie, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively. Them guys, they can all defend. That made up for Luka's laziness. When you go to a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, you're getting put on the spotlight every single game. So what people are starting to notice is that Luka doesn't put in any effort on defense. That Mavericks team was perfectly built for Luka. You ain't got to play much defense when you got 6'8", 6'9" wings, and you got Derek Lively, who was a top 5 shot blocker in the league when healthy. The Pistons played the Bulls last night. I think our whole starting 5 was pretty much out. And the Pistons have been steamrolling lately. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Pistons won the NBA Finals this year. Cade, in my opinion, is a top 3 point guard in the league behind Luka and Shea. And, Jalen Duren has evolved in the top 5 big men in the league. And we're a very deep team. I think every 18 players on our team can all contribute to a win. Marcus Sasser has been coming up. Darius Jenkins. You know, all them guys have been, you know, showing up and playing. Asar Thompson, I don't think he gets as much love as a man because, you know, his role isn't too big. But I think if he had the same role as a man, he would be up there with him, you know.
For sure.
The Thunder, they have been on a losing streak lately because their schedule has just been getting tougher, and the NBA is starting to bite down on Shea and all that flopping and stuff. So, you know, Shea and the Thunder, I think they're very beatable this year by the Detroit Pistons. And, you know, we got to also get into this Trae Young trade, man. That was crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I
something
think they
crazy.
got fleeced. You know, the Wizards, people look at the Wizards and think poverty, but they have a lot of draft picks coming up. And, you know, they just got Trae Young for pretty much free. C.J. McCollum was on the same poor of a contract as, you know, Trae Young. And that'd be a team to watch out for with the resurgence of Trey Johnson and his three-point shooting. And, you know, Trae Young under his ropes. You know, Alexander Sorry, he's averaging about 2 blocks a game, 13 to 15 points. We got to watch out for that team. I think in the next year or two, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a contending play-in team or maybe even an 8th or 7th seed. That's not a bad team.
Did y'all see that clip when he was leaving the game once he got traded?
He was smiling, so you know,
Yeah,
so you know he wanted to play.
definitely wanted to get up out of there.
You know he got a big payday coming. When the role he's finna play is, you know, we just want you to go out there and score and dish the ball out. And that's what Trae Young could do very well. Can he be inefficient sometimes? Yes. Like Luka Doncic? Yes. But, you know, Trae Young, we're not going to forget that he has walked into Madison Square Garden and have completely just derailed the Knicks. I think people forget that because the resurgence of Jalen Johnson, people are starting to try to derail Trae Young's career, but he was averaging 30 and 10 last year, you know. I think what downplays Trae Young and what brings him down a little bit is his size. I wouldn't say he gives a like up an effort, but when you're 6'1" in the NBA, the average point guard nowadays is 6'4" to 6'5". I mean, it's tough out there, but he's not a guy like Luka Doncic who just won't give any effort. Trae Young will give some type of effort. Luka, I think he puts all his effort into offense, and when he doesn't get his way, he's just gonna sit there until his time come again, and it's a repeating cycle. I don't think the Lakers will make it past the first round with the way Luka has been playing. He's shooting 36% from three, which I think is a career low this year. Shooting 44% from the field, and he's averaging about 10 free throws a game, only making 80% of them.
Definitely, man. I'm not gonna lie, I 100% agree with you. Even when he first came into the league, majority of everybody already knew Luka's not a defensive guy. He's purely offense. He's not somebody you can trust on defense at all. He has basically no defensive bag in him. He is purely offense. And talking about Detroit, man, #1 in the league, #1 in the division. I definitely feel like we have completely left Detroit as not a threat anymore. I feel like with the young guys that we had and that we still have, letting them build and letting them get comfortable on the team, and not everybody's coming together, and Cade really putting in the role that he has to go out there and be one of the key parts that we need and really do what he has to. He's definitely, I wouldn't say carrying the team because everybody on the team is putting something in there, but he is definitely carrying the team as one of the vets on the team right now. He's definitely putting out what he has to. And going into the Thunder, I definitely feel like they're not a team to look past, even though they're on a losing streak right now. We can't act like they don't have the MVP, even though Shea is a complete flopper. But we can't look past they don't have the MVP. They don't have one of the best teams in the league, and they're all young. But they definitely are going on a losing streak. And if it comes down to it, if we're talking about the finals and they're going against a really competitive team, I'm not going to say I don't see them winning it, but I don't see them exactly blowing out teams like they were last year or like everybody expects them to. Because just like in the NBA playoff cups, they lost to the Spurs. They lost to basically Wemby. So that's really something you have to look at when it comes to that point.
I like to stop you right there. I think y'all give Wemby, you give him a lot of credit, but I think y'all give him too much credit at times. Stephon Castle is an amazing player, along with Harrison Barnes. I mean, people don't pay attention to Harrison Barnes. He averages about 2 threes a game. De'Aaron Fox has been amazing. He's doing what he's being told. Keldon Johnson can show up. I think the thing is with the Thunder is that, when they're facing a team who's just as deep as them, who has just as much stamina, just as much young players, they struggle. That's why, they matched up so well with teams. The thing is about the Spurs, I'm pretty sure the Spurs are almost younger than the Thunder, So when you got a team that can keep up with you, it's tough. You know, that's why they've been losing. People are starting to realize that Lou Dort can't really shoot. Alex Caruso can't really shoot.
Sure.
And what's really been messing them up is that they're 13-6, or no, they're 13-7 with Jalen Johnson in. Jalen Johnson was supposed to be an upcoming star for the Thunder, and this season he just hasn't been playing like that. You know, he was coming off an injury. They were 20-1 without Jalen Johnson. With Jalen Johnson in, they just haven't been that good because they've been relying on him too much. You know, if Shea doesn't go for 35, or Jalen Johnson doesn't go for 25, they're screwed. You know, and you just can't have that. That's why I don't see them making it this far either. I think.
Wait, but what you said about Wemby, my bad for cutting you off. What you said about Wemby is a really versatile player. He could play both sides of the ball. He could offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. He's not getting enough credit, actually. He can score. He gets 30 a game, you know. What you feel about that?
I feel like Wemby, he up there with he could be up there with like Tim Duncan if he really getting his bag for like the rest of these past couple of years. Because Wemby, he a good defensive player. He get buckets every game, rebounds. He's consistent, and he just came off an injury for since 10 games ago. He just came off an injury, but Wemby, I feel like he's a very good player. But I also want to talk about Cooper Flag dropping 42 as a rookie. It's never been done. How you feel about that?
Most scored points by an 18-year-old in the NBA. Who's doing that for real? That's really crazy. How you feel about that?
The surges. I mean, I had a couple arguments with friends because you know people kept saying VJ Edgecombe was gonna be better, but I think people forgot coming out of college. Duke. Oh my bad. Cooper Flag is one of the most complete players that we, quote unquote, ever seen. You know, you can't name a flaw in this game. His 3-point shooting has been getting better. And I think the Mavericks will be a scary team to look out for once Kyrie Irving comes back.
Yeah.
I like this rookies. The rookies we got now, you know, Derek Queen, he's looking good. Konchinople, I mean, he's gonna end his career in top 3 in threes. And then you got VJ Edgecombe, he's like an Anthony Edwards type of guy with a high motor who's gonna be probably averaging 20 to 25 next year. Next to Tyrese Maxey, that's a duo to look out for. And then you got Cooper Flag, who is the leader of the Mavericks franchise right now, and they're leaning on him. For just being truthful, you know, they're leaning on him, and he's just turned 19 very recently, you know. So that's a guy to look out for too. He's going to be in the MVP race within the next 2 to 3 years. I think the NBA is rising, and it's rising at a good pace. And another thing to look out for is, you know, this draft class coming up this year. I think it's the best ever.
Yeah,
for actually, me personally, I think this draft class coming up is the best ever. You got AJ DeBansta, you got Darius Acuff. That's
highly
underrated.
anticipated for.
But you know, this draft class coming up, it's truly amazing. The NBA is at a generational rise, and it's something good to watch, man, for sure.
I 100% agree with that. Not gonna lie. Like a lot of people say, the NBA isn't what it used to be, meaning like it's gotten softer or it's gotten worse. In my opinion, I think it's not where it used to be because the talent level is far beyond what it used to be. Like, yes, you don't exactly see maybe somebody going out there and getting like as much blocks or as much like dunks and stuff like that as it used to be. But I definitely feel like the talent level has definitely risen in the NBA. And Cooper Flag, it's not like we weren't expecting him to be at the talent level he was. He was out there training with the USA team. He's been doing this since college. He's not exactly somebody that we didn't expect to go out here. So I definitely feel like the Mavs as a franchise are gonna have definitely a good career with my boy Cooper, and with the Wemby part. We can't act like we haven't seen players like Wemby or somebody just like Wemby. Bobo had the potential to be what Wemby is now. He has the height, he has the almost exact same build. It's just, it seems like the thing about the difference between Wemby and Bobo is Bobo didn't want it as bad as Wemby did. He wasn't putting in the effort to really become what he could have been. With Bobo, with his dad being Manute Bol, I just feel like he had so much pressure to be a superstar and be what his dad was that he couldn't live up to it. There was nothing that he could live up to what his dad was. And I feel like with that, he just wasn't exactly trying to make a name for himself or really go out there and put in for himself. And I feel like with Wemby, with what he's doing, he's definitely showing you that a big man, a center, that's something that is really out there to look out for all around the court. From a three, from the mid-range to a dunk, it's something that you have to really go up and guard. Now, you can really expect Wemby to dang near throw it up from half court, and it's majority of the time going to go in. Wemby is really something that we're going to have to look out for, something that teams and franchises are definitely going to have to look out for. But anyways, man, I want to tell y'all to have a good week, man. This is All On Athletes, man. And we just want to tell everybody to be safe out there. Have a good week. This is All On Athletes.